Another glorious day here, and as you can see behind me, I have got a lot of things growing in the boot room. We don't have a greenhouse, so I've got all sorts. I've got literally about 45 dahlia plants in the boot room. So I'm going to get, the dahlias are staying in because there still might be another frost, but I'm going to get a few things out. My sweet peas are doing really well, so I think they can go out. And I've got some kale, I've got some corn, I've got some potatoes. So I'm going to get those out and get them in the beds because it's already mid-April. I can't believe it. No. Good. I'm just about to plant up some of my kale. So I've got in here some peat-free compost. I'm just going to put a little sort of trowel full of the compost in each hole that I'm planting something. In that way it just gives it a little bit of an extra boost as we go along. So I've got my sweet peas. I've got loads of sweet peas. They've come on really, really well. So I'm just about to pop them in. Up this arch I've got some courgettes in there. Lift this off. You can see that the snails and the slugs have already had a jolly good go at this, which is very annoying. I've put eggshells in to try and stop them, and I've got these copper rings, which again hopefully should help. It is sweet pea planting out day. Very, very exciting. I hope that the last frost has passed, but I've also got some cloches to help if needs be, and they've come on really, really well, so they're really strong at the moment. They've been snipped down so to encourage the stems to grow really long, and I've got 3 of these wonderful arches, which I really, really love in a kitchen garden because it adds so much structure, so much height and interest. And I'm going to grow sweet peas everywhere, all over them hopefully. And on this one I'm also going to grow beans, broad beans, butter beans, and a bean that escapes me now, I can't remember the name of it. I've got different varieties of courgette on that one, and on this one I've got butternut squash. So they're all going to come at different times of the year. They're all going to provide different colour and interest and produce. So hopefully it'll be a bit of a polyculture. So I've grown most of my sweet peas in these long little growing pots, and the reason being is because sweet peas like really long roots. They like their roots to go really deep. So in that way it enables them to do that, and hopefully it will give them the best possible start as we start to plant them. So to get them out, I just give them a little knock, and then hopefully they should pop out pretty easily. Yeah. There we go. And you can see the root system here is really well established. I've got 4 in each of these. And then all you want to do is gently pull each root system apart. And it happens supernaturally, so it shouldn't be too much of a bother. And then you create yourself a nice deep hole so the roots can go right the way down, and then cover just gently with your compost. Now you can do the sweet peas about 20 centimeters apart. That will give you pretty good coverage. Because I've got these big arches, I'm going to do mine about 10 centimeters apart just to make sure we've got this fantastic display all over the arches. I'm just going to repeat that process and get in as many as I can to get the most abundant display that I possibly can. Here I'm trying to propagate some of our wisteria. So on the back wall that you can just see on the left there, we've got 3 huge, really old wisterias, and they're just really overgrown. There's too many shoots coming out of them. So I've really trimmed them back. And this one was so long, and I just thought, wow, you know, that would take so many years for this to grow. So it needed to come out of where it was, and so I'm trying to propagate it, and I have no idea if this will work. I haven't done it before, but I basically cut it off and then damaged the end. So sort of just scraped a little bit off with a knife, and then I've put it in some fresh compost and I've been watering it, and I'm hoping that it will propagate and might grow roots. It might not, who knows. I've also done the same with 3 or 4 shoots in a glass vase in the house, so we'll see if that works, if it doesn't work in the ground.
What about the painted duck eggs?
No, because they're in the incubator.
Wait, is this one that isn't in the incubator?
This one's been in the incubator. That dark patch, I think, is because there's something there.
What is it? What do you mean?
As in, a duck.
Should we check the others?
Yeah?
Heaviness.
There they are, look at all those veins.
Oh, yeah. Well, that one's quite established, I think. That one's doing well. Oh, yeah, you can really see that one. Look. Yeah, you can really see the... There's your corn. Pop it in the hole.
Face it up. Like this. And then
That's it.
Yeah.
We have some nice corn on the cob, hopefully.
Will it be rainbow?
Yes, hopefully.
Ivor, he actually gave us that. Ivor gave us the rainbow one.
Oh, good day.
Good haul. Cheers.
Cheers.
To say here, compared to a lot of antique shops maybe that you go to, you do feel like you're getting a good price.
Yeah.
You definitely feel like you're coming here and getting some bargains, which you don't necessarily guarantee in an antique shop on an expensive
Absolutely.
Tetbury High Street or wherever you might be.
I also felt like this time we were braver in asking for money off, even though, like, obviously, you know, we're not going on huge, big ticket items, although obviously
I got some drawers.
Some drawers for your drawers.
Yeah. Keep your paws off my drawers. I've been doing this all day. We've had quite a different experience from last time. Do you think that we are becoming a bit more of a dab hand now?
I mean, our Brummy man said we were dealers. So I mean,
That's just
clearly,
because we had so much stuff.
we clearly look like professionals now.
Well, last time we came, the first time we came, not only did we not have this at the end of the day, this is a vast upgrade, but we didn't have this.
No. So I think the key things are hydration,
Yeah.
water,
Yeah.
going around.
Because you walk a long way and it's been really sunny
It's
both
been
times
really,
we've
really
been.
sunny. You had your nuts.
I've had some nuts to keep me going, some protein.
Because the food,
It's fine. For,
Amazing.
you know, it's toasties, it's burgers,
Yeah.
it's, you know, hot and fast.
and then the buggy, which is obviously a game changer.
Yeah, absolute
And
game changer.
This is one of those buggies that people sort of take to the beach, you know, sort of where they sort of
Toddlers.
put small children in and buckets of spades. Yeah, that has been a game changer actually.
Absolute game
Last
changer.
time we were literally
We did about 3 trips back to the car, and each time it was backbreaking, and we were completely exhausted by the
Yeah.
end of the day. Whereas
Hot
I just
and
feel
bothered.
high on
on
our
your
purchases. I just feel really, really happy and excited. And last time I obviously had that elation, but we were just exhausted.
Yeah.
We go with absolute steal, to be honest.
Amazing.
I mean, you can find stuff for that price on Facebook Marketplace, but not the quality.
No.
And he had made sure every little nick had been buffed. The drawers had been perfectly waxed, so it was in
He
and out.
helped us get
He
it in.
helped us heft it into the car and then reload everything else. I mean, it was. We will tell you in more detail about what it's been like in terms of loading this car another time, but unforgettable is the word that springs to mind.
Definitely. I've also got this ginormous clamshell. Like, it's ginormous. It would take Izzy and I, 2 people, to carry this thing. I mean, the car's going to be low.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see out. It's going to be a slow journey home. Precious cargo, as they say.
Yes, absolutely.
And this time it's not our children.
And
Cash, absolutely key.
Yes.
Because last time we were queuing up for the cash machine, and then
It
some of the
charges
cards
you.
were. Oh,
Yeah.
and there's a horrible charge. So we had cash, and
Which is kind of a good thing in a way, because you can just be like, oh, do you want to just take 40? Because I had something and it was 60 and I just said, oh, here's 40. And they said, okay. But then it is also in a way a little bit of a downside, because it means that you have got the cash and therefore you're like, oh, okay. You're just sort of
well,
handing
also
it
you
over.
lose track of your purchases in a way. People complain about online being too easy, but actually then you have a digital receipt, whereas now I'm sort of like, I can't remember what I've spent.
Yeah.
And I haven't got a physical receipt, so maybe that's something I need to think about.
We've picked up a lot of pictures. Did you come with an idea of coming for pictures?
I wanted drawers. That was my number one thing, and actually I panicked halfway through, didn't I, thinking there aren't any drawers, and I was really not looking at anything else because I was just looking for the drawers. And I actually think you probably are better coming here almost without a fixed idea of what you want, because it can stop you seeing the special things. But once the drawers were out the way and we found them, then I relaxed into it, and suddenly I was like, oh, and you've definitely had a paintings day.
I think my husband's always saying that we don't have the wall space, but actually I just love a wall to be completely covered.
Yeah.
I've got the fancy room actually on the next to-do list. We're redoing the floor.
Are you?
Redoing the floor, and I'm having some panelling done.
Nice.
And then I'm going to paint
Have a refresh.
have a
with the
refresh.
pictures.
So you know Richard E. Grant, he has just recently done an interview with House and Garden, and his house is like a treasure trove. Like it's like an antiques house.
More is more.
Oh my god, more is everywhere. And he just puts what I really love. I put anything on a wall, so it's not just pictures, like, you know, baskets or hats or
Tennis rackets.
yeah, like
balls.
anything. I love anything on a wall, and that's what he's done. He's got puppets on the wall. He's got just memorabilia even on the wall.
Maximalism.
Yeah.
But also, I think when you do that, when you live in that space, you actually can stop seeing what you've got. So what I think's fun is to be able to change things up and have a rotation. So that's your answer to Rue. If he's like, we don't have any more spaces, but we need to rotate. Like a gallery, so that we can see it, because you stop. It's like with photographs, you have your beautiful pictures of your children and then you stop noticing it. And then someone comes in and they say, what a lovely picture. And you're like, oh yeah, haven't seen that, because you see it every day.
Absolutely.
So rotate.
It can also be seasonal, I suppose, can't it? I mean, we're in spring, we need some seasonal change.
Yeah. Well, you've also picked out a lot of things that remind you of places you love.
Yes.
So the Gower in particular. And I wonder if when you come back from the Gower, you might suddenly want all your Gower paintings, for example, to sort of remind you of a wonderful holiday.
What's the other one? Oh, I got the one that reminded me of Tilford.
Yeah.
Bridges.
Beautiful.
Which we must go down to Tilford,
I
actually.
really want to do
with
that.
the kids. It is
Splashing about.
It's just my favourite thing. You know, when it gets ridiculously hot for Britain, and there's not that many days of those, but there's 4 or 5 days every summer, and it just goes crazy. We should just drop everything, go down and picnic and swim.
And splash. I'm keen. I'm so keen. And there's a cricket pitch there, and there's a pub, so it's got all those things covered. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? I love it. Well, what a fabulous day.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Another fantastic day at Ardingly Antiques. Just absolutely brilliant. Just love it so much. One of my favourite things is actually just watching people walk around with either stuff that they've got over their shoulder or in their buggies, and just seeing what they've purchased and how different it is to what you've purchased. And that's what's so great about antiques, isn't it? That you can buy all these different things and it can be your taste and your personality and your absolute style, and then someone else can just think, actually, no, that's awful. I wouldn't love that at all. So there's so many different ways to do antiques and so many different ways to dress your home. And that is what I love, because it's not shop bought. It's not everyone's got the same. Everyone can be super different. So on that note, I thought I'd show you what I've got. I'll start off with the first thing that I purchased. I saw this straight away and I was like, ooh, this is going to be great for the fancy room, which is where I am now. The fancy room is going to have a little bit of an overhaul soon. We're having a new floor done, and I'm also going to do some paneling, have a refresh, a paint, and just make it a little bit more Mulberry House. I love it at Christmas because it's so packed full of things. But at other times of the year, I feel as though it's not quite where I want it to be. So very an interesting and exciting next project. Now, without further ado, this is what would have been part of a much larger door panel, and it's seen slightly better days. It has been very much repaired at some points, but it's still in pretty good nick. And this is going to go above the doorway heading into and out of the fancy room. And it's just a really beautiful thing. You know, this is all hand carved on the bottom, and then here it's plaster. And there's a couple of bits that I need to touch up, but it's pretty good. And if I'd seen this and it had been £80, I definitely wouldn't have bought it. And I think that's one thing that I've come away thinking what I was going to talk to you about, why I choose certain things in antiques, etc. I think obviously everyone loves most antiques, right? But it depends what you want to pay for it. So I saw this and I was like, if it's sort of 60, 70, 80, I'm not going to do it. And it was 50 and I haggled it down to 35. So I thought that was a perfectly acceptable and a good purchase. Second purchase, these were, I think, a tenner for both of them. They're very simple watercolours, and I tend to buy paintings that remind me of things. This one reminded me of the beautiful shoreline at the Gower, which we go to every year, and this one reminded me of the rolling countryside of Hampshire, Winchester, where my in-laws are from. So that is the reason why I bought both of these, and also they're a matching pair as well. I do like a matching pair because you can then frame other areas. So you can, frame a doorway, or you can frame another painting, and that's always really helpful. And for me, blues, greens, that sort of dusty, yellowy, vintage looking border, it was a no-brainer for a tenner. So I'm very happy with these, and they're really nicely strung as well, so I don't have to faff around with that, which is good. So this might not be used for what I bought it for. However, India's room, my daughter's room, has very sloped ceilings, and to the point where you couldn't get in a chest of drawers or a bookshelf, for example. So I'm looking for something really small and low to the ground where she might be able to stack some books. Now, this isn't very wide, so we're probably going to be able to fit Beatrix Potter books, only very small books, so it just might not work. However, I also have a little inlet in the bathroom, in her little bathroom, and this would sit perfectly in there. And then she can put all her trinkets on, and her toothbrush and her toothpaste. So either way, it'll definitely end up in India's room. It's not hugely old. I'm going to guess probably arts and crafts. And it's really beautifully carved. It's got some lovely little floral motifs on it, and just a pretty little thing for 20 quid. I think you can all guess what this is for. Now, I promised myself that I wouldn't buy anything for the treehouse. And okay, this is for the treehouse, but it's not for the inside of the treehouse. So I did well. I just get so drawn to like vintage flags and knickknacks for the treehouse, but I really do have enough. This is a swing, as you can see, and it's fairly rudimentary, but it does the job, and it was really, really good value. I think this again was 25 quid, and I asked my carpenter, Doug, if he could make one for that, and he said no, so it was definitely worth getting. And this is one that I saw actually the first time I went to Ardingly, and then regretted not getting it, and I saw it again and I was like, yay, I'll pick it up. So super happy with that, and I can't wait to see the kids and myself swinging on this in the treehouse. I saw these at the very beginning of our day, and I don't know why I do this to myself, because I would have been so gutted if they'd gone, but I take pictures of everything, and then if I really, really, really still like them at the end of the day, I'll often go back and get them. I don't know why I should have just got these straight away, because I was really nervous that they weren't going to still be there. Beautiful frames, slightly crackled effect, really, really gorgeous. Really nice old board on the back and old canvas that's not split. And I love buying paintings that remind me of things, and this reminds me of the Gower again. Beautiful coastline and coves and having a jolly holiday. So this will definitely go in the fancy room. Just the colours in this are just so perfect, just so gorgeous. The azure colour of the ocean. I absolutely adore this. They don't have to go together, but I just like the idea that I can put them together if I want to. Here she is. It's got the beautiful boarding on the back and the canvas, clearly painted by the same person. The textures are amazing. I just love the canvas and the sort of texture of the paint. And this one reminded me of, we have a lovely little place near us where there's a village and it's got a cricket green and it's got a ford and it's got a beautiful ancient bridge going over the top, and in the summer we go down there and picnic after school and paddle and swim, and I mean, it's so British, it's so English, that it's just absolutely idyllic, and this completely reminded me of that. This reminded me of those wonderful summer days, just slothing around, having a picnic, enjoying paddling in the beautiful river down by us. And it's just so, I love that sentimental feeling of looking at something and realising where it makes you think you want to be. I also picked up this giant clamshell. It's not real, it's made out of stone, but a lot of the ones that you see are made out of plaster and they're sort of yay big. And I just love the size of this. And it's pretty, this is why it's here, because it's not going very, very fast, because I need my husband to help me. Not 100% sure what I'm doing with it or where it's going yet, but I knew it belonged at Mulberry House. You can use these for inside or outside. Tell the details all down below. But I think it's wonderful. And it was really, really good value as well. So I was super pleased with that, and a very good purchase and addition to Mulberry House. It's just what I bought it for. I never usually go with a particular idea. I mean, I would obviously if I was like going for a client or redecorating a whole house, etc. Obviously you go with a plan and you go and beeline in places. But, you know, the thing for Mulberry House now, we're sort of we're decorative searching. So anything that's a shell, a painting, anything that's got texture, anything that feels like it belongs at Mulberry House and calls to me, I make a beeline towards and I really go for it. But as I said, the main reason why I do or don't go for things is price. So you've just got to have an idea in your mind what you're willing to pay for something, and you just have to say no at a certain point. There was this beautiful concave mirror, which I'm now regretting I didn't get, but he wouldn't come down on price. Mainly because I'm just one of those people that's way too polite and feels slightly awkward, haggling. So I'll be like, how about this once? And then he'll be like, okay, well, let's do this. And obviously you should just do it more and more. But I'm just not very good at it. So I didn't get him down on the price enough that I wanted. So another day I will try and be stronger. But yeah, I had a price in my mind. He wouldn't go to it, so I walked away. And I think that is key. You've got to be willing to walk away. And until the next one.